Hello and welcome to the Two Better Halves podcast.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lenton.
And this is a podcast where a married couple, the aforementioned Lenton and Sarah, spend basically two turns talking about the same topic. So we each get 20 minutes, exactly equal halves. It's timed. You can check and make sure that we're not lying. Where we each have our 20 minutes to cover however we'd like to that topic. We can ask the other one questions. We can make them sing songs, as Lenton likes to do. We can talk about things we're interested in. And during the other person's 20 minutes, they are allowed to pause us, interrupt us, say that we can't talk anymore. However they want to use that 20 minutes, it's their time to explore however they'd like. And so today's topic is going to be on bad habits.
And where can they find us?
Oh, and they can find us on social medias. I forget we do the social things. So we are on Instagram and Facebook at Two Better Halves Podcast. We try to post stuff regularly. You can see pictures of us and our kids and celebrities. The most traction we've gotten on social media was with Jason Momoa. Go figure. So, you know, a variety of things can be found on our entertaining socials.
Happy Republican National Convention Day.
Am I supposed to be excited about that? Because I'm not very excited about that.
I mean, in fairness, most of the holidays that are days where people say happy, blah, 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 are not things that I really get. Like, no one's going to say happy Cinco de Mayo. And you're going to get excited, right?
I don't know. Cinco de Mayo involves Mexican food, which I love. So I might be a little bit more excited about that than Republican National Convention Day. Especially given that they're deciding to do this in person. So it'll be interesting to see what that means for COVID transmission among a group that is historically older white men.
What's the least exciting holiday for you?
Groundhog Day.
That doesn't count.
What?
Like an actual holiday that everyone knows about and celebrates. Groundhog Day is not a holiday. You have to go to work on Groundhog Day.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, any day that I get to have off is an exciting day. Not that I hate my job, just that days off are great.
Least exciting, so they're all still exciting.
Labor Day, I guess. It's the end of summer. School's going back. You get the day off, which is great. It's usually around our anniversary, which is nice, but the anniversary is better than Memorial Day or Labor Day itself.
And Labor Day is, what, the day before our anniversary this year? Or the day... Is it our anniversary?
I don't think it's our anniversary. I think it's the day after.
Cool. If anybody knows when Labor Day is, let us know if it's September 7th or not.
Look at that. You know what day our anniversary is. What a good husband.
We've almost been married for 8 years.
That is correct. 8 years. Is 8 a good number? You make it sound like it's a good number.
I mean, it's better than, like... 7. 7's what a horrible number.
7's like a lucky number. Everybody's a lucky number 7.
I'm not lucky number 7. 7 years is the worst year of my life.
When you were 7 was the worst year of your life?
Hell yeah!
Why? What happened when you were 7?
I walked around like a little bitch going, I hate being 7.
Aww.
Fuck this.
Is that going to happen to Scotland? Because she turned 7 in October.
No, Scotland has half of your blood in her. I was all me. So I walked around angry, kicking frogs, pushing over pools.
I feel like it was a worse year for the frogs than for you.
Well, yeah, because they all turned 7. It was their 7th year as a frog.
That's pretty impressive. So how old are all the frogs now, then?
No, they're all dead. Frogs don't live past 7. That's why it's the worst year for them. They're like, God, no, I don't want to die. I'm a frog.
Frogs were like cicadas. Who knew? They just hatch in like big bursts every 7 years.
I don't know anything about what did you say, cicadas? That's little buzzers, right?
Yeah, the little buzzy bugs.
The big ones.
Yeah, that leave the little shell behind.
So how have you been? How long in a quarantine are we now?
Gosh, I don't know.
83 days?
It was sometime in March. It was like March 14th was the last day I went to work. So a long time.
And we are on week 2 of kids schooling from home, yeah?
It's officially week 3, Harper reminded me very petulantly earlier today. But the first week was only Thursday and Friday.
Yes. Okay. So it's officially heading into week 3. I guess when everyone hears this, it'll be really close to that Thursday. So, yeah, we'll say it's week 3. So, yeah, quarantine, week 3 of homeschooling. How you doing?
I am doing okay. It is definitely a juggling act. And school starts at bizarro times, at least high school in our county. It's like 8:25 is when homeroom starts. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's like a time that makes sense to me. But then the next class starts at 10:18, which is kind of an off time. And then, like, the next class starts at 12:26. Like, there are all these really bizarre times that just randomly you have to remember. They have nothing in common with each other, and so it makes it very difficult.
What do you think the logic is behind that? Was that, like, in person? Is that the kind of way they follow their schedule?
It is, and
maybe it has so when you're actually, everyone's ready by 10:30, or what is it?
Yeah, so it has to do with how much time they give them between classes. The classes themselves, because we're on a block schedule, are 90 minutes long. So and then they have like 6 minutes in between classes, I want to say, which is where it gets all messed up. But then it's to make it
they would be walking to the next class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I never public schooled it, so I don't get it.
Yes, but it does make it difficult to remember because they are not at like normal intervals for things to happen. Like my work, everything happens on the hour or on the 30 minutes. If you have a meeting, it is from 9 to 9:30 or 9:30 to 10. None of this weird 10:18 stuff.
So bothered by that.
Well, and it does make it hard because I'm also working. So I'm at a meeting, let's say from 10 to 10:30, and then class starts at 10:18. So I'm in the middle of a meeting trying to make sure that kids are on at the right time. It would just be so much easier if everything started at 10:30.
And you've been doing who have you been helping?
I've been helping the high schoolers. So we have Hannigan, who's a freshman this year, and Harper, who is a senior this year.
And she hasn't really needed anything.
She has not needed much help at all. For the most part, when I knock on her door and I'm like, second block, she's like, I'm already on, and I can hear the teacher in the background. So she's pretty good to go. Harper, who is our senior this year, does have autism, which we've mentioned before. And so it's a little bit harder for him to remember things, although he has done exceptionally well, much better than I would have expected at sort of knowing what time he needs to be on. And he has a much more complicated schedule because he has not only the classes with his regular ed teachers, but he also has special sessions afterwards with his special ed group. So he actually has 8 different things he's got to log into.
And the fact that they're all named Ed, I'm sure that gets confusing for him.
And they're all at 10:18. So makes it really hard.
Wait, all his classes are at 10:18, or is that just being a dingus?
That's just me saying that the times are weird and random.
But he's done pretty good, huh?
He's done better
as far as the schedule.
As far as the schedule goes, he's done better than I've expected, and he's really lucked out because the first story that they've been reading in Brit Lit is Beowulf, which is all about monsters and fighting, which is right up his alley. He is a death battle, video game battle, like all about the fights and the blood and the gore kind of guy. So he has been totally invested in the story. He knows everything that's going on. He knows all the characters. He's the first one to volunteer answers to all the questions. It's been actually really neat to watch how engaged he is. It'll be interesting to see if he stays that engaged when they get to something like Canterbury Tales. But
I don't know what that is.
For now, he has a great teacher, and he is definitely engaged.
Yeah. That's the only one that I've overheard his special ed teacher, who I thought was being a jerk, but you said that was not normal, and so he was probably just having a bad day. We won't say his name, but
he was definitely being a jerk, though.
Dingus.
Yeah, he was definitely
why do you get to work with special needs children if you can't handle them not being perfect, you dingle butt?
I agree.
But yeah, I've heard his, what is it, British literature? Mm-hmm. She was awesome, and she sounds so hot. Like, she sounds like a really hot,
she's from New York,
African American model.
That's oddly
She's
specific.
Not that. When I heard her talk, I thought that she was gonna look like young Tyra Banks.
Wow,
that's who I was picturing. Like, she's gonna have
that is not what she looks like.
She does not look like young Tyra. She's pretty. Don't get me wrong, but like, I had to go over to Harper's laptop and look during his first class with her just to see if she was hot, because of course that's the most important thing. And she is pretty, but she's not what I was picturing. So
you've been helping Scotland then, who's
helping myself
first grade. So how's that been going?
Terrible.
Why has it been terrible?
I told you, or do you want me to tell it to everybody?
Yes, I want you to tell everybody else.
It's so much of it has nothing to do with the online learning. It is probably a total of like 45 minutes throughout the entire day is actually the teacher working with them. The rest of it is me doing it. And I did not know it was going to be so much of her getting breaks. Like, she gets these hour-long breaks throughout the day. She gets her stuff done fast when she actually starts doing it. And so then there's just these huge chunks where she's not allowed to run around and be loud because Harper's doing all his stuff. But she has nothing to do, so I try to find stuff for her to do. It's just a whole lot more on me than I thought it was going to be. So much stuff. And it's different every day. And it depends on whose internet's working and whose isn't working. And there's just so much. And I'm so tired. There's just no time left in the day to do any of the things I enjoy because all the first chunk of it is spent doing that stuff. And then at 2 o'clock when she gets off, I'm so tired. I don't have good blood sugar numbers ever. I just want to sleep. So then by dinner time, you have a couple hours to do chores or do something fun for a little bit. And then it's back to bed. And that's just every day over and over and over. And I hate it.
Yeah, hopefully, though, it sounds like we've gotten some communications that maybe after Labor Day, which will be a great holiday this year if it's true, that she at least will be going back in person.
We got those emails, and you and I have not talked about it once. I guess because it's still a ways away. So is that what we're doing? We're sending her back then? Because this is the first you have ever mentioned what you planned on doing or what your feelings were on it.
I guess I didn't
now is a better time than any for you to be like, hey, our kid's life? I mean, I didn't bring it up either. But, so that, yeah, you want to send her back?
I guess I hadn't even thought about it as being an option, but I guess it would be an option, huh, to either continue virtual or go back in person.
Although, if you continue virtual learning now, since the teacher will be working live, everything will have to be on pre-recorded stuff, so it would be all delayed. But, so you're sending her back. Yep. That's what I heard.
I think, given what we've seen so far, which is their plan would be just to send the kindergartners and first graders back, I would be comfortable with that because it wouldn't be a school full of 500 kids. It would just be those two grade levels.
And the pre-K, because they do a select group of pre-K over there, too.
Yeah, they have 2 classes, yes. So, yeah, the pre-K, too. So, but we're talking about a much smaller group. They don't move from class to class. They're not interacting with anybody beyond the 20 kids that are in their classroom.
And the one teacher. They have the one teacher, which definitely helps. Because, the school is one that had COVID, though. They had some people with COVID there just 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
so my assumption... And maybe I
gotta say, her teacher today on the video, she didn't sound good, and she started being there at 10 instead of 8:30 because she had a doctor's appointment. Well, I don't know.
Well, I was assuming, I guess, that they had tested everyone because of the fact that they had the exposure.
I'm assuming she has COVID cancer.
Case.
Double the death. No.
That's pretty terrible.
She definitely was sick, but I don't know what people sound like who have COVID. I don't listen to that crap.
Well, I don't think there's one right answer to that question.
No, there is. So, yeah, you want to send her back?
That's how I'm leaning right now, but...
You want to just strap a bomb to her while she's...
No, well, how do you feel?
I think we should send her back. The worst case is that she comes back with the virus, and it gets me sick, and then I have to die because I have diabetes. So the worst case is not that bad.
First of all, you dying would be terrible.
She's not going to die from it. And the fact that it's such a small amount of people and they're going to be doing the distancing and you can request wanting them to wear masks and stuff like that. We've taken her to the gym now and she plays with kids there. But mainly that has to do with the fact that I've given up on life. That's why your opinion on this matters a little bit more.
Well, that makes me very sad. I don't want you to give up on life.
I hope she not only brings back coronavirus, she brings back a jar of poisonous scorpions, and she lets them loose in the bed. Doesn't tell me, and I just get poked by a bunch of poisonous scorpions. Speaking of death, we have another young black man. We can't say shot to death. Shot to put on life support by cops.
This one was pretty upsetting to me when I saw it. I have to say.
Oh, you watched it?
I did.
I assumed you did because you shared it, but we never talked about the George. I cannot say that. George Floyd tape. I asked you if you had watched the full thing that was put out, and you said no. So I didn't know if you were going to watch this one.
Yes. So I have not actually seen... I saw the original footage from George Floyd that had been leaked. I had not seen...
Well, the original footage is like... Did you see, like, the 30-minute video or, like, the cut-down?
I saw the cut-down one.
Okay.
And so this one, my mom texted me this morning and actually said, did you see the video from Kenosha? And my mom never does that. And so I was surprised, and she was talking about how upsetting she found it. And so I went to go see it. And again, the footage I saw is very short. It's probably very, like 30 seconds.
Since we talked about it, they have released a video from another angle. But, it's still not the full thing.
But I find it hard. I cannot fathom in my mind what they could have put in front or after that video that would make me feel like what I saw in that 30 seconds was justified.
Which, if you don't know, is in the video, the main one, it is a young black man walking to his car. He's being told to stop. The cops are telling him not to go to his car. And he quickly opens the door and reaches into it. And so 2 cops start shooting him in the back. And they shoot him 7 times. And that's all the main video is. It apparently his kids are in the car. The windows are so tinted on that thing.
Yeah, I could not see if there was anyone in the car.
It sucks that they were in there, but unless the cops are told that my kids are in there, no possible way you could know that their kids are in there. Granted, they do shoot after he opens it. Everything's really loud. Don't know either way. Fuck them for that whole thing. I mean, my whole thing, and I've been posting it on Twitter, if you want to follow me on Twitter, is that unless he tells the cops, I am going into my car to go kill my children, then I can't, I don't get it. I don't get the whole thing.
I mean,
we'll see what
even
happens.
then, it seemed like there was plenty of time to grab him, push him to the ground, put him in handcuffs, some other way to restrain him besides shooting, and then just one shot should be enough to incapacitate him to at least get him into custody.
You'd think that, but they shot him 7 times and he's still alive. So I will not pretend to know how gunshots work because I've never been shot in the back. But
I feel like even 1 or 2 would be startling enough that you should be able to, especially with 3 of you on one person, pull him out of the car, get him away, push him to the ground. Like it seems surprising to me that would be necessary.
White cops hate black people, so that's still a thing. It's sad. I think the video of this one was definitely worse than the George Floyd one, but I think that'll usually be the case when there's a video of someone being shot. I think that kind of image stays with you more than someone laying on the ground, because unless you know what happens at the end of that and that he does die from it and all that, it's hard to, I mean, the video of that is not as intense as this new video. So look it up. His name is Jacob Blake. So if you type in Jacob Blake, it'll probably come up and you can see it and be, I mean, if you're not really upset, fuck you. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I
agree on that? Yeah, just a fuck,
yeah,
fuck
and
you. We have an episode, though, on Black Lives Matter.
We do.
I don't know if anybody wants to check that out. I don't remember what we talk about in it.
We talk about Black Lives Mattering and being very much
pro. Yeah, but specifically, I don't remember what we talk about in it, so whatever. This is going to be a bad episode. Warning. You're 18 minutes into it now, so you probably already know that. So, that's my warning. So, unless Sarah's got something really neat planned, oh, fuck.
Kind of a downer today, babe.
Mm-hmm. I am, because today's episode is bad habits and annoyed spouses, so it means we're going to spend 20 to 40 minutes talking bad about each other. That's just exhausting. God damn. But that's what we're doing today. Hopefully we get into a giant fight. I'm going to try to pick a fight. Today.
I feel like you shouldn't just try to pick fights. Like, if you're genuinely upset about something, by all means share.
The thing I'm upset about things that are out of my control.
Well, then why are you picking a fight?
Because there's like an emotional rush that comes with getting in fights.
Oh, I don't. I don't agree.
I said it as a joke, but now if in this episode we do get into a fight, damn, I'm gonna look bad. All right. Well, whenever you would like to start your 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm going first. Okay.
Yep, you can go first.
Okay. So my 20 minutes is going.
I've got like half this drink left, and I'm going to drink it while you yell at me.
Why would I be yelling? I'm not picking a fight.
Wow, y'all hear that? I'm looking at the computer and it just spiked when she said, I'm not picking a fight, which means when I edit it, I'm going to have to turn that part down because she's yelling at me.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'm not gonna turn it down. So y'all just know that when the sound sounds weird, that's because Sarah's yelling.
Okay. No, it's not yelling.
Oh, let them be the judge because I can see it. It's peeking. It's hitting the...
Just because it's peeking doesn't mean I was yelling.
I don't whisper. We need to be able to hear you.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay.
Is this 20 minutes now, right?
Yes.
Fuck. Whose idea was that?
All right.
It's my idea. It's my idea, y'all.
So what we talked a little bit about this last week as a preview, and you sort of asked me what was one of the things that I found that was a bad habit.
Which means things that you hate about me that makes you want to cheat on me.
Okay, none of those things are true.
How do you define... Oh, never mind. Not my 20 minutes. Never mind.
Thank you. Look at that. See, what a gentleman.
Yep.
So we had talked about the fact that one of the things that you do for stress relief is to rearrange things. And sometimes that's great and wonderful, and it makes everything look new and refreshed and shiny.
I would say 99% of the time, but okay.
And sometimes it means that I can't find things. And sometimes I know that you've moved them, and I just temporarily forget, and then I can go and find them. But sometimes you move them when I'm not even there.
Your
and
fault.
Then,
bad habit, forgetting things.
That's true. I'm very forgetful. But then I'll spend 10 minutes looking for something, not even realizing that you moved it, and I don't know where it is, and you're either asleep or out or doing chores or whatever.
Considering I
can't
get
ask
up
you.
and get out of bed before you every day now, I highly doubt that I'm sleeping.
I'm not saying that it's just been in the last couple of weeks. I'm saying overall in the 8 years of our marriage.
Okay, so you're attacking past me. That's really mean.
Oh my gosh.
I said we were going to fight.
You're really trying to do it. I can feel it.
Yeah, nothing matters.
So what is the joy that you get out of the rearranging?
Because I hate my surroundings.
Does it make it better?
Yeah, it makes it better. Anytime you rearrange it, your surroundings are better, and you get to... And most of the time, it's logical changes. It's changes that... Like, a lot of times it's, here's this thing that we're eventually going to repair or fix or replace, and we're never going to fucking do it. So why do we have it there? Let's just get rid of it. Oh, now there's a giant space here. Okay, well, we need to put something here. What logically makes the most sense? So, the fact that you can't figure it out and you can't find the things just means you're not thinking logically. Logically, where would the trash bags be now?
Okay, I would argue I'm not thinking Lentonly.
No. Why do you think I do these things?
I do think that you are looking for something that's going to be different. I think that you're hoping that making the room different is going to make you feel different. I don't know that it always gives
So
you the
sad.
desired effect.
God, that's the only reason you don't think I ever have rearranged anything to make...
Of course I think that you've rearranged things to
Wow.
make them better, and you've rearranged things in a way that makes
Wow.
more logical sense. But you've also sometimes, I've just come home, and granted this is a little bit picking on older Lenton, so I will
No,
concede
fuck
that
it.
point.
He's trash.
But I would come home and all the kids would have new bedrooms and all of their furniture would have been moved and everybody would be in a new location. And it'd be like, whoa. And like, it was impressive. You had moved 3 rooms worth of furniture entirely by yourself.
And there was a very, very, very logical reason as to why.
Okay.
Okay. So at that time, Harper was in a room directly across from Hannigan. Hannigan was like, 8, 9 years old? And Harper stays up late and watches, YouTube videos and yells and is really loud. And Hannigan had mentioned that she can't sleep, and she had gotten on to Harper about it and stuff because of how loud Harper is, because, he's autistic. He doesn't control his volume. That's always been a thing. He always gets super loud. He still does it. He yells horrible names to people that he plays video games with. So I moved him to the room that was furthest away. That was the logic behind it. And Scotland had a baby's room in the bigger room that was furthest away. So when she was a baby, she needed the changing table. She needed to have the rocking chair. She needed to have a little play area. But she had gotten a little older too. So she didn't need all those things anymore. So little by little, we had taken those things away. I had given them out. I had sold them. So her room had gotten really, really small. So half of the room was just empty space. So I moved her into a smaller room. How does that not make sense?
I mean, it does. You have to admit, though, it would be startling to come home and everyone's room is in a new location.
I had posted the videos on YouTube that I had done it.
You know I don't go on YouTube.
Oh, no shit. Facebook. I would never post it on... I don't post anything on YouTube anymore. On Facebook. So the whole rest of the world... Excuse me. The whole rest of the world knew. My ex-girlfriends were like, wow, that looks really good. I'm sorry that you didn't like it.
Okay, that was a low blow. You really are trying to pick a fight.
No, my ex-girlfriends don't talk to me. That's not true, actually.
I was going to say, you have an ex-girlfriend who's going to have you officiate her wedding.
That's right. I'm currently the officiator for Casey Brown's wedding, which is fantastic. But she's an ex-girlfriend that we all like. Like, you really like her.
Oh, absolutely.
Scotland, she's babysat Scotland before. So, whatever. Well, you send your kids to hang out with your ex-boyfriend all the time.
I think that's a little different because he's their dad.
Okay. I haven't seen proof. I haven't seen no DNA.
Okay.
Anyways, so most of the time it's done by the fact that I'm a little bitch. As you said, your words, not mine. I'm a little fucking bitch who gets so caught up on the little things being... Like, this is harder on life. The fact that Hannigan doesn't like how loud he is, and the fact there's all this empty space she doesn't need. Okay, let's switch out the rooms and move it.
All right, so that brings us to our next topic that I would have, which is, I think you are far too hard on yourself about most things.
It's not a bad habit. That's a fact you've yet to see. The things I say about myself are facts. You haven't seen them yet because you've got rose-colored goggles. Is that the phrase? Rose-colored?
I'm past the 7-year itch, so I don't think I have.
No, that doesn't count, though, because for one of those years, I had diabetes, so instead of being able to be super in love with me, we had to worry about figuring all that out. And another one of those years was the birth of the baby. So you have to take away 2 years. So you were at the 6 years.
I don't think anyone... Well, and we've been together for 9, so...
Yeah, but the itch doesn't start... I don't know. I don't even know what this shit is. All right, well, then you are in the 7-year itch. Bam.
Okay, so I think you are far too hard on yourself.
Nope.
And I think that you
Wrong.
Underappreciate how special and hard being a good father and spouse are. And oftentimes when I'll tell you if you're being hard on yourself, what a great dad you are or what a great spouse you are, your replies, but other people do that and other stuff too.
That's exactly right.
So
I can think of many people that are great dads.
Okay, but
and
they're
that
great
are
dads.
Also
okay, they're great dads in the 10 minutes you see them or the 1 hour you see them.
You're telling me you don't think Jason Schmidt is one of the best dads we know? Because
I do think he is a great dad. However, we don't see him 24/7, and he probably has times he gets frustrated, and he probably has times he gets down on himself, and he probably has times where he says or does the wrong thing. And you don't see that because you only get to see the 1 hour, and everybody asks different when they're in front of other people. They're a little bit more on display.
If he came up to me and he said, I have those times and stuff, I would be like, oh, okay, you're a shitty dad. I wouldn't say, oh, well, but what I see, you're a great dad. So, boom, I'd say, you're a terrible dad. Go fuck yourself. Nah, I wouldn't say that.
So,
but, like, I can think of a couple people that are, okay, we won't even say great and perfect, but are better dads and are better husbands than me. So you're not married to them. You're not their kid. You can't say that they're not.
I know, but I also can't say that they are because I spend so much time with you and I see all of the things you do that are above and beyond, and I try to point those out to you, and it almost feels like you're unwilling to see or hear them, and it can be really frustrating when I'm trying to share those things with you and I feel like you're belittling them or demeaning them.
9 times out of 10, Tim, 9 times out of 10. I would be inside Tim. Actually, I only know one Tim, and I would not be inside. I'm sorry, Tim. 9 times out of 9 times out of 10, you only say those things when I'm saying bad things about myself. How often do you come up to me when I am in the middle of doing stuff with Scotland and we're having a good time and be like, you're an awesome dad, this is great. Does that happen?
Yes.
Oh. My God.
I would agree that it doesn't happen as often as it does when you're down on yourself. But when you're down on yourself is the time that I absolutely want to point out to you all the great and wonderful things that you do so that you don't get bogged down in the bad details.
I am a shitty husband, as we talked about. So it means when you say those things at the time I don't want you to say them, it doesn't count.
But how do I know when is the time that you want me to say them and when is the time that you don't?
You can never say nice things to me. There you go.
Okay, so that also brings us to the next one, which is refusing to take a compliment.
These are all compliments. All these bad habits that you have from me are just compliments. It's really frustrating.
But But they are bad habits, because if I want to say something nice to you, I want to feel like it's appreciated. There is a selfish motivation there for me, for sure, because I want to feel like me telling you something nice, or me giving you a compliment, or me pointing out good things matters and makes a difference. And when you completely don't acknowledge them,
completely don't. Wow, that's pretty harsh. Okay, keep going.
Or are saying the exact opposite and telling me that I'm just wrong and that's not correct, or I'm not saying it at the right time. And
these are jokes, but sure.
Okay, but even if you're saying it as a joke, it's making me feel...
So you're saying that I never take a compliment?
I would say that you take
9 times out of 10?
I would say that is definitely more often you don't take the compliment than you do. I would not say you never.
You would say that it's more often than not I don't take the compliment.
Yes.
I would say that more often than not you only give it to me. You only have anything nice to say about me when I am down on myself. I would say that, yeah, I won't go too deep into that.
I would say that lately you've been down on yourself a lot. And so there has often been times where I've been saying it when you were down on yourself, because that's just the place that you've been in. And I'm sure...
You make it sound like I walk around the house all day with my arms down and my head down going, I fucking suck.
No, but I'm sure... Hey, it's my 20 minutes. And I am sure that the quarantine and not being able to go and do hobbies and not being able to go out to work
because I have diabetes
and having the kids home all the time is certainly not helping with any of those feelings. So I'm not trying to say it's been that way every day for 9 years. I've never cheated on you. Let's make that very clear.
I said it might be true.
Oh my gosh, it is not true. So, but I'm just, this one is speaking from very recently, which is I feel like if I try to say something nice, that not only is it not accepted, but it's actually thwarted. I'm actually told that that's not true, or I'm wrong.
Name one time where you have told me a compliment, I said you are wrong.
You don't say, you're like, well, no, I'm not.
You just said word for
husband.
word.
You don't say I'm wrong. You say, no, I'm a terrible husband.
No, I offer a counterpoint. I offer why my evidence. Let's be honest. You don't walk up to me and say you are a really good husband, and I say no, I am a terrible husband. You're making it a lot simpler than it is. You'll come up and you'll say, how are you? Are you feeling okay? And then I'll say, no, this is what's bothering me, which I'll give you credit there. Since we had a conversation / fight about it a couple weeks ago, you've been awesome about coming and just talking to me rather than wanting to solve all my issues. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But you'll come up to me and ask, hey, how you doing? You want to talk about something? I'll talk about it a little bit and say why I feel the way I feel. You'll say some compliments. I'll say why I don't agree with those compliments. If you want, you come up to me because we're supposed to talk about the things. So you want me to talk about the things or just go, wow, thanks, Sarah. That was real sweet. Now it just sounds like your desire is far more on you feeling good about yourself and being able to walk away than it is about actually hearing, this is why I don't agree with those things.
Why can't it be both? Why can't you
because
say thank you?
I am trash. We've been over this 1,000,000 times. You're asking why can't I say both, but also telling me I shouldn't not be able to take a compliment and shouldn't be so down on myself. It can't be both of those things.
But it can, because you can still say, hey, thank you for saying something really sweet to me. That means a lot to me. I don't always feel that way about myself, but you still acknowledge that meant something.
No one talks like that.
You don't have to use those exact words. I'm not writing you a script and putting it in front of you.
You don't talk like that. Nobody talks. This is not a Disney movie. If you come up to me and say, you look awesome today, I don't go, wow, Sarah, that's really good.
It makes me feel like my compliments don't matter, so why should I even give them?
No, that is perfectly fair. And I should find ways to appreciate them more. But the problem is, I am trash.
You're not trash.
Well, can I talk about being too hard on myself and not taking compliments? Or am I supposed to incorrectly answer the question? You are asking me outright why I don't do the things that you want me to do. Well, the answer is that I am bad. But I'm not supposed to say that I am bad. What am I supposed to do here? This is called, ladies and gentlemen, this is called a trap. This is called a well-constructed trap.
It is not a trap.
That is a trap.
I am telling you that you are not trash. From my opinion, I don't feel that way about you.
Wow, Sarah, thank you so much. That makes me feel really good about myself. And the credits roll.
Okay, so this brings us to my next point. My next point, which is, and this may be a men versus women thing. This may be, I don't know, a you versus me thing. But whenever we do have an argument, you are able.
You're skipping one of the things you want to talk about.
Able
Interesting. All right, we'll bring that up on mine.
Pull out of
Facts.
any emotion.
You
are not allowed. You can find ways to not get upset, to not cry, to not yell, to stay completely calm.
Be
and
careful, please.
Just
I really
use
don't want you to crush me here.
A debate style tactic that is so infuriating to me because I can't do that. I can't not be emotional. I can't not cry. I can't not raise my voice. I can't remember all the facts and details like you can and pull them out. And it makes me feel like I can't even get across what I'm trying to say because you're so good at logicking me out of anything.
I'm good
that
at
I'm
lodging
trying to
too.
say.
I find great houses.
What?
Wait, so you're telling me my bad habit is that in an argument I can control my emotions and talk about facts that came from the past? That is a bad habit?
So...
Wait a minute. I'm so confused. It sounds like this is your bad habit and I am level-headed when we get passionate.
Okay, so being able to be level-headed when you're passionate is not the bad habit, although it is frustrating because I can't do it. The thing that becomes frustrating is you'll even admit it after the fact, not during the fight, but after the fact, that you will ask leading questions. This is one of those things I've admitted like
twice in 9 years. But
yes, but you will ask leading questions, not just with me, just fights in general, that you know will give you the answers you want, so you can get to the point it's almost like you can railroad the conversation into the direction you want it to go because you know how to frame the questions and statements in such a way that that's the only conclusion, even if it's not necessarily the right conclusion. Like, you can create false logic to get you to a certain perspective.
Certainly don't agree that I create false logic, but okay. Keep going.
So, I guess, I mean, that was one of the questions I was going to ask, is it really your intention to just try to be able to make me feel like I'm emotional and crazy so you can win the argument? Or are you really like...
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
That is never my intention. But I guess since I said it twice in our 9 years together, that in 2 or 3 arguments overall, that was my intention, that should be brought
well,
up.
that's why it was a question. It was a question as to whether or not that was...
I certainly do not think that a bad habit of mine is that in arguments I use logic and I use examples of the past.
Okay.
I think that is exactly what anyone should do. Sure, I do bad things. I am, as we mentioned earlier, trash.
I didn't mention that. We did not mention that. You mentioned that.
One
Let's
of
be
my
very clear.
Bad habits when it comes to argument is I'll ask myself questions during the argument. Simple questions that I know I can answer. And then I'll ask you questions that have to do with the argument that are a lot harder to answer. So it does feel like, okay, well, it's even. He's admitting to these things and asking himself questions too, but they're always really easy questions. And that's just how it's not specific to you. But, I'll be, it's how I've always argued. Because if you're going to get into a big passionate fight, I don't understand why you wouldn't use logic. If you're not going to use logic and facts, then it's not worth talking about. It's like everybody on every social media in the entire world who gets really passionate about something and they start posting things and saying things before they even look into it at all. I don't feel like it's bad, but yeah, okay. I know you don't like the way that we fight because you do get very passionate and you just speak from the heart, and I don't do that. I'm very, very, very calm in an argument. Because... And
I think it's a little bit different than the Facebook example because it's about my thoughts and feelings. It's not about something that may have a more... Like, you can actually look up research articles and facts of that nature.
Sure, but your example is that in fights about our thoughts and our feelings, I can come up with examples and things that happened in the past, and you can't do that. You said that. So it's different that, you can't look it up, but... Well, you should, if you're so passionate about something that you need to yell about it, and you can't think of one example.
But that's not exactly right. I can think of examples.
Oh, well, I don't know. I would ask you to give me one, but it sounds like your time's out. Damn. So I guess y'all heard it right there. Literally word for word. I can think of examples, and Sarah's choosing not to give any.
You're not allowed to keep talking. The 20 minutes is over.
This should be my 20 minutes.
Today's episode is a special one better half due to blood sugar crashes, interruptions, and technical frustrations. If you really want to hear Lenton's side of things, let us know, and we'll send you a bonus episode. Otherwise, our apologies.